Hi, hello. Welcome back to Paring Down. We're going to dive right into the Ask Me Anything About Decluttering question to kick off this chai chat, and it comes from Janine. She says, do you have any advice on decluttering and organizing files on a computer? Okay, so that's not my area of expertise. Not that I'm really an expert at anything. I don't know. I like to be helpful. I think I have good ideas, and I've been doing this a long time, so I have accumulated helpful ideas, but I always hesitate calling myself an expert. I'm like, I'm an educator. Am I an expert educator? Up for debate. However, Sean Lemon came on the podcast to do an entire episode. It's called Removing the Chaos from Our Email Accounts and Desktops with Sean Lemon, episode 74. I will have that in the show notes because you're definitely going to want to go listen to that. But I will share with you the one thing that has majorly stuck with me since I recorded that episode with him because it was just so helpful. And that was this idea of not needing to overcomplicate and over organize the files that are kind of like, will I ever need that again? I'm not entirely sure. He says to make it as quick as possible as you look through your files, move everything that's I'm not sure I'm ever going to need this someday, but I want to keep it because just in case, into one folder. That's it. Only the things that you know you need on a regular basis do you actually need to organize. Everything else you can just let go pretty easily, put it into a folder, put it on a hard drive and call it a day, or upload it into the cloud, whatever. He goes through those different options. But I think that really freed up this space in my head because it felt like I was going to have to go through every last thing on my computer. And that feels really, really overwhelming. But what I've learned, it's kind of similar to filing through papers. It can go really fast. Like decluttering paper, actually, it looks really overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be because you can look pretty quickly at a piece of paper and know if it needs to go into this needs to be addressed pile, shred pile, or file pile, right? Like I can do that really fast. You need like less than a second per piece of paper to go and put them into the correct pile and sort them. And then you have this big shred or recycle pile that you immediately get rid of. And that's kind of the same with your files on your computer. It seems really overwhelming, but if you just know ahead of time what you're doing with each type of file, then separating it out and decluttering it can actually go super fast. And so he talks about having that maybe, it's essentially a maybe pile, but for your computer, and putting them all in one place so that on the off chance you do need it, at some point you can go there and you can search it, usually by name. Most of the stuff we have something in the title of it that we'll be able to search and find again. But don't get carried away trying to organize things perfectly. And then when it comes to like all the assets that you need for your job and maybe family photos or important documents that you've scanned and you want to have a folder that has all your passports scanned and all your driver's license scanned or whatever, anything that you want to be able to access easily, you access it pretty regularly, you're going to need it again. Those are the things that you can organize. And the way I would do it, which I'm pretty sure it's been a while since that episode, but is I would create folders ahead of time. So you know where you're sorting things. Have a maybe folder where most things are going to go. Then you have your delete, which doesn't even need to be a folder. Just right click delete when you see it. Then maybe have a family folder and then a work folder. And so your first round, you're just going to sort into those 3 folders, maybe, family, and work. And then that can go pretty fast. And then from there, you can open your family folder and you can be like, oh, let's do photos, travel documents, and medical. So now you create 3 more folders and then you go and put things where they need to go. And if you really want to get granular, you then open your medical documents and say, okay, I want to do this by person. I want Sally, Jane, and John each to have their own folder. Great. So now you go and put them in Sally, Jane, and John's folders that you've created. So create the folder first so you know what you're going to do with stuff and start really broad. And I think that will help you feel less overwhelmed. That would be my advice for decluttering and organizing files on a computer. Okay. Number 2, ask me anything about myself is what's your favorite way to vacation with your family? This comes from Meredith. I love this question. I think it will change a little bit as the kids get older, right? Because right now I have to kind of weigh out what stress is worth it because it's going to be stressful. I love the phrase or the meme or whatever that's like, vacations are just parenting in a different location. You don't really get to relax too much, right? And I take that mindset for sure. So in this stage of life, when my kids are 5, 6, and 8, my favorite way to vacation is to stay at one hotel and then go out and do something in the day and come back. And I don't really care what that is. Disney World sounds like a good time. Visiting family, cool. We're making memories and then we're coming back to a hotel room. Do I still love road trips? Absolutely, I do. But we're in kind of an awkward stage with their ages where I do find them to be a little bit more stressful than if we just stay in a hotel, leave and come back. Not an Airbnb. No, thank you. I don't want to have to do any work, cleaning up, doing dishes. Nope, don't want to do it. Hotels all day, every day. But anyway, back to our camper van, which we still love. But if I want to feel like I'm getting rest at this age, it's not great. When they were slightly younger, it was slightly easier, but now they fight more and they have more opinions. And so it gets a little bit cramped in our tiny camper van. And then I can see it being a little bit less painful when they are older as well, because they can entertain themselves a little bit more easily. I can kick them out of the van without having to supervise them all the time, right? So we just are kind of in a stage where I would say the van isn't super easy, even though we just this summer did a fantastic camping trip with the van, and it was so fun for 4th of July. But my favorite way to vacation right now is just hotel, leave, go do something, come back. But in the future, it could be traveling a little bit more and not staying at the same hotel every single night. Or it could be back to kind of a camping situation. I'm a big believer that we just gotta adjust and not be too attached to one way of doing things when we are parents. Okay, and then I wanted to add this little one in. It was actually anonymous. Well, I couldn't find the first name of the person who submitted it, but short and sweet, what's your favorite comfort meal? I feel like whenever I answer these questions, I always need to beg you not to judge me, but I love macaroni and cheese with hot dogs. Okay, I like my hot dogs cut up like into little circles. One time my husband tried to cut the circles themselves into halves, so they were like half circles. I was pretty upset about that. Like, I need full chokeable circles, and it needs to be Velveeta shells and cheese specifically. Will I eat any type of macaroni and cheese with hot dogs? Sure. But if we're talking my ultimate comfort, like I had a bad day and I don't care what I put in my body because I just am emotionally eating, it's going to be Velveeta shells and cheese with hot dogs. And it has been that way since I was a teenager. I am a picture of health. Okay. Your listener decluttering win for the week comes from Allison, and she says that a church rummage sale gave me motivation to go through my kitchen and purge unused things. Yes, it is so great. Participate in those. If there is a neighborhood yard sale, if there is a church rummage sale, if there's any sort of fundraiser where they're collecting items, use those as motivation to get rid of stuff. I'm so glad you did, Allison. I'm sure that feels so amazing, and you're being generous. Love it. And our listener recommendation this week comes from Brooke, and she recommends Emily Ley and her company, Simplified. She says, I've been reading her books and using her products for years. I love Emily Ley. She doesn't know I exist, I don't think. We might have talked in DMs once. I'm not sure. She has like the biggest parenting Substack. I think it's the #1 parenting Substack out there. And I also love her because she really stuck her neck out for small businesses when the whole tariff thing was going down. And I really respected her for the way that she handled that entire thing. So I like Emily Ley on a lot of levels. And I have heard that her products, she has a very famous simplified planner. I've heard they're incredible. She has teacher planners, daily planners, weekly planners, digital planners, planner bundles, garden planners. Everything has like a really cute design that you can choose. She has journals. She even has some home and kitchen stuff. She has gifts and keepsakes on her website. Don't go buying yourself clutter, people, but this stuff does look great. And I love me some good planners. She also has a cookbook, the Simplified Cookbook. She has a book called When Less Becomes More. She has another one called A Simplified Life, Tactical Tools for Intentional Living. I think this one's hers. Yeah, Growing Boldly, Dare to Live a Life You Love. Jeez, she's busy. A children's book? Is that the same Emily Ley? Yeah, she has a children's book called You're Always Enough. Another one called You'll Always Have a Friend. Oh my gosh, she's a busy woman, this Emily Ley. I will have all of that information in the show notes. Final thoughts. Should we talk about the Savannah bananas? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I love them. And their most famous guy, Jack Olson, is going to be on Dancing with the Stars. So I'm very thrilled by this. So the Savannah Bananas are an entertainment baseball team. And I want to tell you why I love them. It's not just because they're trendy, which they are, or because they make hilarious reels, which they do, but it's because I'm a firm believer that men should be involved with musical theater as well and entertainment without this label of it being super feminine. And if you have a feminine or gay guy that's into theater, that's great too. But I don't understand this idea of not letting it be a masculine, traditional male thing. Look at Hugh Jackman. The man sings and tap dances, and he is straight as a board and hot, okay? And so what I like is that the Savannah Bananas, they lean into kind of traditional male energy, and then they mash it up with singing and dancing. And again, Totally cool if there's not traditional male energy. I don't need that. However, I'm just glad to see it becoming normalized, right? That it's not feminine or girly to like music and dance. So you have these legit baseball players who sing and dance while they're on the field and entertain people. And then I was looking into it. I'm like, who do they play? And they have these rivals under like the Banana Ball League, I guess. So you have the Party Animals, the Firefighters, the Texas Tailgaters, and they're all these entertainment-led baseball teams where they stop and sing before they do a play. But they're also like professional baseball players. Like a lot of them were on their college teams and that kind of thing. So it's very fun. And I'm just a big supporter of it. I think that they got their inspiration from the Harlem Globetrotters, which of course is a very famous basketball entertainment team. They do it differently because the Harlem Globetrotters, from what I understand, was or is still very much about kind of tricks. So entertainment, but a lot of tricks when it comes to basketball. And of course, the Harlem Globetrotters, they were started because of this idea of showing off skills of African-American players when they weren't allowed in the regular league. So there's some deeper meaning behind the Harlem Globetrotters. But Savannah Bananas, they don't necessarily just do tricks. They are doing more singing and dancing. And it's just a delight. And I want to go to a Savannah Bananas game. Unfortunately, I don't think that they play in Finland, but I support them. I support what they're doing. Love to see these bros getting down with some musical theater or Vanessa Carlton or whatever else ridiculous things that they're doing. You should look them up on Instagram. They're a good time. All right, that's it for this week. Thanks for being at this Chai Chat, and I'll see you Tuesday with an episode about helping you plan for the school year successfully. And even if you're not a parent, it's a great one because I think a lot of our lives really rev up this time of year. So come back for that one with Danielle McGue. I'll see you on Tuesday. You just listened to an episode of Paring Down with me, Shannon Leyko. Please don't forget to hit follow or subscribe, and I will love you forever and ever if you leave a 5-star review, because those reviews are so helpful on the back end of things. And for more resources about decluttering and intentional living, sign up for my short weekly newsletter, The Less Express, which you can find in the show notes, and follow along on social media. Just look me up. I'm Shannon Leyko, Leyko. Thank you so much for listening.